Okay, thank you, everybody, for coming to tonight's meeting, special board meeting. It is Thursday, August 30th. It is 6:09, and we will begin the meeting. Ms. Burgos, can you call roll call?
Yes. Trustees present tonight are Kim, Valenzuela, Romo, and Duarte. Trustee Aguilar is absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Mr. Fergali, can you lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I'm sorry, can we please remain standing for the family that, Nuno family that lost their house and one of their children? Moment of silence for 1 second. Thank you. Moving on to item number C, approval of agenda. So moved.
Second.
So moved by Ms. Romo, seconded by Mr. Valenzuela. Discussion, Mr. Kim?
I have discussions. Again, the special board meeting, the president of the board, there has to be contact the board member to their possible come back or not. So they have to have maximized the maximum number of the members can come. They have to do it. And they never called me about my possible again.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kim.
And the other one is, we supposed to have another regular meeting instead of the special meeting. That is another way to eliminating the people's participations. And this one, the special board meeting, I see the agenda said like as a regular meeting, but title is a special board meeting. So we just once in a while we change everything, so organize that to confuse the people, they eliminate the people, public, they can come, or they believe presumption is a special board meeting, they cannot say anything, so a lot of people didn't come. But actually the agenda said it as a regular meeting. Even we approved the agenda, the minute. We have to set ourselves to follow the rules and protocol. We're not following the protocol and the rules.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kim. We have followed. This is a special board meeting. Our regular meeting is for September 13th. I stand corrected. All in favor, motion has been made and second. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Aye. Motion passes 4-1. Item number D, superintendent's reports. Earthquake update.
I believe you have someone want to speak to that. I think number 3.
Okay. Yes, we do. Mr. Raul Ureña. You're going to do it on public comments? Okay. Mr. Fargali?
Yes, earthquake update. 2 things. Number 1, thank goodness it was on Sunday. Number
Again.
2, it was on, most of it was on the north end, and I will say we really need to compliment our staff. I was able to get a hold of Mr. Martinez. He was able to get a hold of his staff, and in 3 hours they checked every room of every building in the school district. And we received, everything was fine. There were no books on the floor, nothing at all. And then Monday I spoke with both the superintendents from Brawley, and it was really bad up there, but obviously not as bad as we had it 2 years ago. So that, we thank goodness that nothing happened down here. But we have to commend our staff for doing an incredible job, and they got it all done in 3 hours.
Good. So no cracks, no nothing.
First week updates. We were still moving students around, but nearly all the classes are now within the contract 30, 33, 34. The enrollment for today is 9133. The enrollment last year, same date, was 9119, so there's a plus 14. Last week was down considerably. And my next item, I've asked Mr. Padilla, Senior, because we have both senior and junior, to make a presentation on the new special ed program that he will be directing. Mr. Padilla, if you would, please.
Thank you for having me. I'm Lucio Padilla. I'm a teacher with Calexico School District. I've lived here in Calexico for most of my life.
Mr. Padilla, is your microphone on?
It looks on.
Is the light on? Okay.
I was probably too far away.
It's because they're recording.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and speak about this very, very special program in which I'm going to be in the trenches, at least for the next year. I want to give you really a lot of information that I need to expose so that we can develop the least restrictive environment, the best environment for a very needy population of students that we have in the Valley. The programs for emotionally disturbed students is not available in the county. So whenever our students need services such as the one we're going to be providing, they have to be moved to another area or to another institution. It's not present in the county. It's this program that we're trying to implement is so rare that I'll give you the information that was given to me when I was asked if I wanted to take this challenge. And the information is that we're about the fourth this county that has this program in California. So it's a very unique program. When it was offered, when the county decided to take on this program, they offered it to the county and only 3 districts responded. And 2 of them dismissed it, and only Calexico was willing to take the challenge. It's a very big challenge. It's a very important program for very needy students. The process is of selecting the components. It has a criteria that is observed by 2 groups, by 2 panels, boards, I don't know how they call it, but 2 panels, 1 county and 1 district. I think the county is around 10 people, and I'm not sure the number of the district, but I know that it's the administrators in the district office all together combined made a team to make several decisions that will impact this program, and it would determine how successful we're going to be. One of them was facilities. And they sat down, they see all the probabilities, and it was decided on a school site based on space availability, who had the best place for these particular students. And I'll give you more details about these students. Also, the willingness of the staff to be able to implement the program, which is one of the most important criteria. How willing is the people to be able to deal with these particular kids? Emotionally disturbed kids do not have special schools right now or special classes, so they're in the general population, and they are a big distraction to their education and also to the education of others, to the extent that principals and teachers, they don't know what to do. So the opening of this school gives us the chance to develop this pilot program, which, because it's just a pilot program for right now, which we wish that it will spread in the future. That's why we need to, team up and do the best we can with it. So we need to have the least restrictive environment, an environment where everything, the best that we have, can enrich this program. And so I know that the two panels consider all these factors when they selected Jefferson School. They have a very motivated staff. They have a wonderful technology program. They have a great classroom for the students in a location where we can have opportunity to store some of the materials that I will be using to enhance the program. And the most important thing it's surrounded by teachers that open their arms and their hearts to receive this program. And I want to emphasize, which is one of the most important criteria of selecting the facilities. Then they went ahead and selected the people that are going to run. We're going to be working directly with the students. There's a group of people that are going to be around the program, supervising, supporting. The program is going to be supervised by Mr. McFadden and overseen by panels of the district and also panels from the county. It's a county program being housed in Calexico School District and run by Calexico School District employees with funds from the county. So they went ahead and decided that they would ask me to be able to teach in this program. And I very willingly accepted. It's been the kind of students that I like to work with. Ever since I did my studies, I focused on the challenging work of dealing with behavior. I have extensive training on parenting, which is a very important component. And in my classes, I have always implemented character development, which is a key factor to the success of this program. I have done several activities in the district before when Mr. Dorwood was principal of William Moreno. He asked for a grant where we had to implement the two main factors, which is parenting and character development. The parenting was significant participation by the parents. They came into at least 8 of our sessions where we taught them not just about the importance of having harmony in the family for the kids to come motivated to school, but then also we taught them how to supervise, how to read the report cards, how to deal with the issues at home so that kids can prepare to school to learn. It was a very successful program, and it was based on the criteria of CSTs. The kids, there were 57th graders chosen by their scores the previous year, which was the 300 mark. And our goal was to get them above 350, based on teaching them character. Same instruction, but with a character component. We were very successful. 45 of the students improved very well, very significant. And there was about 10 students that went outstanding. We had a couple of students that earned over 100 points, 111 points in math by one student. And we all agreed that it was the motivation for the students that made the difference. The teaching was the same as the other kids, but the motivation. And then the participation of the parents of making them accountable and responsible for doing well in school. Those two things blend together, and we were very successful. To my surprise, when I was presented with a curriculum that we're going to be implementing, it's very similar to what we have been doing for many years in Calexico. So the panel see all these things, and they gave me the opportunity to try the things that I have already been doing with the most needy students of the Valley. The most, if you want, rejected, because they are challenged, they're a burden in most schools. They interfere with the education of others, and we usually don't have those strategies. So this giving us the opportunity to use this pilot program to show that character development together with parenting and all this extensive training that we're going to be receiving, myself and my staff, that we can really help students. And then in the future, our vision is for it to spread to the regular classroom so that the other teachers in the regular population benefits from the studies and the training that we're going to be receiving. But for this, we need teachers and staff that open not only their arms but their hearts. These are very difficult students, and they can sense. We don't have to say anything. Just by looking at our expressions, our actions, they can sense. And these are very difficult kids to love because of their extreme behavior. So we need the best staff for this, and I consider myself to be one of the best in this area. And we are in the process of developing a criteria where we can choose the other staff members. And this is being done by very professional people, psychologists, administrators, superintendents, and their decisions are based on their careful analysis and observation of all the criteria involved. It just happens that the administrator from the site that was selected and myself are family members. And it's causing a little conflict there. And I come here to explain to you the importance of this program and the support that we need to make it successful, and that to overlook some issues and then focus on the important issues, which is to create a pilot program that services the most needy students in Imperial Valley that have no services at all, and to provide them with a least restrictive environment, with a staff that is open, that wants to work, that has not only their arms but their heart, that has a great structure, a great place for us to be housed in, technology, all those things are pluses for the program. The training, the staff that is being selected, it's willing to take the challenge. It's a challenge that no one in the valley took. It's Calexico and the staffs that are looking forward to work with the students. And we'll be probably the 4th school in California to have it. So it's very important that we see the factors that really impact the benefit of our students and make a decision and support us, because I know that if it's allowed for this year, we will do a great job. It's the best environment, and if we want the best for these kids, we need to provide the least restrictive environment and the best staff that we can gather. Thank you very much. I'm open to questions if you have any for me.
I have some questions. Did you? Okay. I have some questions. You mentioned your staff. Who is the staff?
We are developing a criteria, and we're going to do interviews, and we will select the people that are the best.
Will you be directing these staff?
Yes. They will work under my supervision, and we will go together to the same trainings, and I will be supervising everything that goes in the classroom will be my responsibility.
Okay.
Instructional aides. Yeah.
Okay.
The staff will be myself and 2 instructional aides.
Okay, now, we will be servicing students all over the county.
All over the county. It's a county-wide program.
What grades or what ages?
We're working on that criteria. We're looking at 3rd through 5th grade, maybe somewhere in there. We haven't decided. We have a list of names. We're going to go visit. We're going to go and observe, take notes, present it to the boards that are overseeing this program, and they will decide which students are going to be in our class, and they will be from different areas of the county, including Calexico. Yes.
Okay. And these funds, Mr. McFadden, are these funds delivered by every school district, or is it coming from our general fund in Calexico to pay Mr. Padilla and?
The funding comes separate pot of money from behavioral health funding, mental health funding, so it's a separate allocation dedicated solely and specifically for the operation of the regionalized SBC program. So there's no cost to Calexico Unified.
Only the facility? the use of facilities.
Yeah, you have a good use.
And there's no rental to mental health or,
It's not, the money comes from the state mental health, not local mental health. This is just money that comes into the cell fund and is distributed. So part of it, we as a district have received some funds for other activities
uh-huh.
related to.
And so those funds can be used for this
Well, they could be, but we're getting a separate
funding.
pot of money.
Uh-huh.
It's not linked in with any.
The amount of funding that we will be getting will be more than sufficient for the whole program.
To cover the whole
To
program.
overcome.
Madam President, this item really is not on the agenda, so,
Well,
other than some superficial
well,
questions.
it's because we have him to be approved tonight as a special ed teacher, and I need to know if the funding's going to come out from our general fund, or because I see this is a joint venture
Yes.
program, so I think that's where I'm getting at.
Yes, the funding is from the county, from the programs Mr. McFadden mentioned. We're going to be housing it here and using district employees, but paid by the funding from the county. So
And-
no cost to the district.
And for clarification, it is on our agenda. It is under our employment report.
Well, yeah, his position is.
The
and-
position has been not the program
Yeah.
itself, so.
No,
But
but it,
I just for my peace of mind, I want to know where the funding is
Yeah.
coming from, because are we going to be able to hire another special ed teacher under our general fund, under our special ed?
The position that I left, my salary was left behind, so
Okay.
they would be used
okay.
for
Because
that.
I know you're a teacher for
Right,
us.
yes.
Now you're going to be a teacher for countywide.
Yes,
So you will be removed from that funding into a different funding.
Right.
Yes.
It's a
Okay.
special funding just for that program.
Okay.
So all costs associated with personnel, equipment, materials, supplies, et cetera, are coming from the special pot of money.
Okay.
so wherever we're placed, it's going to be a housing for us, but the staff, even though it's district, is going to be concentrated on the duties of the counties giving us, and supervised by Mr. McFadden.
Okay.
My direct supervisor will be Mr. McFadden. So any principal from the other schools are not involved in this area. We'll be involved in activities that we do with general ed teachers and their students to spread the effectiveness of this program, but not in any other way.
Okay.
Thank
That
you.
clears it up, and it's
Thank you.
a very admirable class or
Yes, it's
you know,
a
education
program
for
that
the
we don't have.
students.
We need it, and these kids are out there, by themselves, and we're providing it. It's a pilot program that we hope it grows in the future to junior high and high school, if we're successful with the elementary. So we have big plans for it. We have big dreams about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Padilla.
thank you.
I have a couple more items.
Uh-huh.
Today, Mrs. Duarte, Ms. Aguilar, and I met with the city representatives as well as 2 county supervisors and 2 members of the IID board regarding the movement forward of the swimming pool. And it was really an exciting meeting because there were about 25 people there, and not one was negative at any time. They were all looking forward to moving forward with the pool. So we're asking for each of the organizations to make some kind of a written commitment via a resolution so that we can move forward. That would the total project is about a $4.3 million project. Includes an 8-lane competition pool, a family type pool. The competition pool is 6 to 7.5 feet deep. The family pool will run from 3 to 4 feet deep, plus a locker room for changing. And now we're talking about adding a classroom or 2, since it'll be on our site just west of the old pool. If things move along at the rate that we hope they do, we could have swimming in June. That's our goal. The last item I have is tomorrow morning board, when I do my Friday report to you, I will be giving you the CSD results. The AYP won't be out for another 2 or 3 weeks. As soon as we get that, you'll get that. So I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fagali. Moving on to item E, comments from the public. I have Ciro Calderon.
Good afternoon. My name is Ciro Calderon, and I'm running for school board. I just have a couple of questions. One, I know you can't answer those questions. I just have a couple of comments. One of my comments, actually it's a question, but I know you can't answer. One of my questions would be, if you knew what kind of student population we were going to have in starting the school year, or you had a projection, okay, why did you start the year with substitute teachers? Okay, I know it's common practice. However, for what I've seen, for what I read, what I have experienced going to the schools, the local schools, it's district wide. So why is that? Now your answer will be, well, we don't have the money, right? We don't have the money. We have these and these expenditures. Okay. Now, what I was just reviewing your fiscal report from 11-12, and just in consulting services, you had projected over $2 million. Okay. Now, I'm a school counselor in Coachella, Desert Mirage High School. You can look me up. You can look me up. You can look up my information. I'm a school counselor in Coachella Valley, and I work over there. I've been there this is my 8th year. Okay. I know what it is to be in the first week of school. Okay. But I can tell you that by spending all this money in consulting services, or better said, if you had spent this money that you had projected, okay, on teachers, that could have brought back over 30 teachers. And I'm doing the calculations at paying $100,000 each teacher. Okay, so I don't get it. I don't get it where you're saying, and that is in the report I was just reviewing on my iPad. Okay, you stated right there, expenditures. If you go all the way to the bottom, it says consulting firms and things like that. It says projected, not the first line, but like I believe it's like the third or fourth line, projected for that year, $200,097 or something like that. Okay. Now, if you do that, if you do the math and if you gonna put a teacher at $100,000 a year, which is I'm exaggerating a little bit, that's over 30 teachers that you would have. Okay. So that's my question, my comment. Thank you.
Next speaker, Diana Harvey.
I wanted to speak during certificate.
Okay. Raúl Ureña.
Is this one for D1 or D2?
Oh, I'm sorry. D1.
D1? All right.
You can go into D2 after if you'd like.
All right. Let's see. D1. All right. My name is Raúl Ureña. I'm a sophomore at Calexico High School. This has to do with the safety in our schools. The earthquake report Mr. Fagali just made. Safety is one of my biggest concerns this year. One of my classes has 48 kids. One of them is handicapped. We had a fire alarm go off on Friday, and I wanted to explain what the scenario would be in that class if there was a real earthquake, like it was in Brawley. First, there'd be kids scrambling around to find desks to duck and cover because there aren't enough desks. There's 5 to a desk in some desks. If they were to duck and cover, they wouldn't fit. Then it would take over a minute to evacuate because we're all squished into this little small trailer with one teacher, and we don't have exactly the space to move. And what happens if a student panics? I mean, the teacher cannot keep up with the chaos during class. Imagine during an earthquake. These teachers shouldn't have to deal with this. The class sizes are a monstrosity in this town, and they need to be fixed now, not next year. There are countless teachers right now living off of unemployment checks, and we need to bring them back to the classroom where they belong. Thank you. Oh, D2.
You can go into D2 if you'd like.
Oh, yeah, number D2, sorry. All right, this one's about the first week of school report. This is the first week of school, and my head is ready to explode right now, of the dire frustration that the conditions at my school are putting me through. First off, I wasn't able to get the classes I deserve because they are all filled to capacity. When I got a chance to speak with the counselor for the chemistry class I wanted on registration day, she grabbed my recommendation letter and tossed it back without even reading it, and said the class is full. I couldn't even get into AP biology. I got placed in a lower class, advanced biology, which to me is nowhere near a challenge. So I decided that I was going to go register for Southwest Elementary School. Me and my dad went over there to Southwest, and I was impressed by how nice they've kept that high school, how nice the people are there. But at the end of the day, I decided to stay here and fight for better educational opportunities here in Calexico. I wasn't going to leave my fellow Bulldogs without a voice here. At no time in my life have I had my intellectual capital so blatantly thrown into the trash. No words can describe how bad I felt that day. I am ashamed to live in a city where the school board puts lawyers and administrators first and students last. The whole school is a wreck, and there are violations of the Williams Act everywhere on campus. And I warn you, if I walk to school on Monday and my class sizes are still over 40, if my school is still an unsafe mess, I'm going to be forced to start filing Williams Act forms that would possibly cost this district money and fines. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, Annette Butner.
Good evening, I'm Annette Butner, a parent. I just want to comment, and I know Mr. Fergali said our enrollment numbers have gone down to the low 30s. In polling high school teachers, these are some of the numbers that were given to me. 42 students in a classroom, 35, 40, 42, 37, 39. This is the yearbook class. This is a production class that needs to cap off at 25. It's 39 students.
What classroom is that? I'm sorry.
This is yearbook. And I understand that production classes have a limit of 25. Another class, 42, 39. Another class, 39, 38, 37. There was a class that did not have a room yet. Another one that AC was not working, so they had to use the library as a classroom temporarily until it was fixed. I don't know. This was as of yesterday. I don't know if this has changed today. Another one did not have enough desks. The kids were on the floor, sharing seats. I don't know if you guys have actually gone this week or the week before to walk through, visit the classrooms, see what they're like. What are the conditions that you guys are putting our children through? My fourth grader's classroom, we don't know. It's day to day. Is it going to be a third grade combo, fourth grade combo, fourth, fifth? We don't know. And this is on a day to day basis. How can my child learn when the teacher does not know how to prepare? How can she go on with the lesson if she's going to have to bring in third graders, or if she's going to have to bring in fourth graders? What's it going to be? This is horrendous. And there you go, our ADA walking off to El Centro. El Centro's raking in the students. Why? They have got really nice commercials, very attractive, which tempt me. I have 4 children. My boys have been asking me since last year, Mom, take us to El Centro, take us to Southwest, take us to Central. Come on, Mom, give us why we want quality education. These are my boys. And here I have them because I live here. Why should we run off to a different school district? We live here. We pay taxes here. Come on, school board, get it together and offer quality education. You guys are just making the cuts in the wrong places. Why cut teachers? Why cut educators, counselors? Okay, just consolidate positions or reduce salaries as an act of good faith, as an act of solidarity to our students, our parents, our teachers that have been ripped. Give back 20% of those high salaries. Trim down the consultation budget that you have. For this next school year, it's almost $4 million. Come on, that's excessive. We all have to make sacrifices, not just teachers, not just parents, not just students, not just classified or counseled, everyone that's been ripped. We all have to make sacrifices, and let's keep it fair. And thank you for listening.
Thank you. Florencia Nogales.
Good evening. Florencia Nogales, part-time ABE teacher. I think I haven't seen an NOE yet. Every now and then in the Valley Press, we see articles regarding the high percentage of illiteracy, and especially here in Calexico. A large portion of that percentage really, they are not illiterate, for they speak or they read and write their first language, which is Spanish. They are, however, pre-literates, which in the literature of linguistics means that they have not had the opportunity to learn a second language. This is where you come in, board members. You need to keep open those doors of opportunity to our adults here in Calexico. We have only 6 hours of ESL right now. You go to the ABE office, groups of people, not 1 or 2, groups of people are being sent away because there are not enough classes, not enough space. The space is there. The site is there. It's up to you. Ahora es cuando, señor Valenzuela, que dice que quiere ayudar a su gente. Ahora es cuando. Muévase. Señora Gloria Romo, también usted. Y ustedes dos también, la señora Duarte y Aguilar. Ustedes querían ser miembros de ese panel. Ahora tienen que hacerlo, tienen que representar a la gente. La gente pide clases de inglés. Y también tenemos los que están estudiando para la prepa, que no han terminado su diploma. Ellos sí tienen 4 días a la semana, 3 horas por día para terminar su diploma. Pero nos hace falta ese inglés. These people want to get off those welfare roles. They don't want to be on welfare all their lives. They don't like this. They want to be able to go to their children's school and speak English. They want to obtain a skill and get a job that is gainfully employed. They want to learn English to live in this country. They know they are in this country and they are proud of it, and they want to learn English. Keep those doors of opportunity open in adult education. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Do we just dismiss the board members' comments? That shouldn't happen on here. Board members, do you want to dismiss the board members' comments? It shouldn't have been on here. And I think that's what Mr. Kim is referring to, looking like a regular meeting.
And the minute too, we just have a minute too. The minute approval supposed to be not in the special meeting.
But we will dispense with the board members' comments and go on to the next item. Okay.
Excuse me, for what is canceled? I accept the agenda.
I understand.
This is
but
a wrong, what is the problem?
Do you not want to dismiss the board members' comments? You do or do you don't?
Yes. I like my comments and this meeting.
Since we are there, since in the minute she like to talk,
Okay.
she like to comments,
Okay.
and I gonna take a chance
we
too.
won't dismiss it. Mr. Kim, you can go first.
Today's first time I could be able to go to visit the school, and I choose the Jefferson first. And every classroom, students and teachers, they are very cooperative, even the rainy. And some little, they have a recession in the classroom, well, I can't complain at that. It was very helpful. But I was counting of the number of students, 40 in the classroom, plus 5 or 6 more from the other class for the computer lab. So which is almost 50 students in the classroom. Elementary level. That's how we decide to cut the teachers to put the 40 students in the classroom in the elementary. And ACES is other classroom didn't work. That's what I know. We should do at during the summer vacation time to check those. We should be prepared, ready for the students if it wasn't that happens. And 40 students classroom. Your students were mentioning, I have lots of friends, they only took their kid at the central. And our children's money, a lawyer and consulting, they make smile. Our children's crying. And also we have a minute there, closed session minutes, we got sued. I never know we got sued. And when they went there to make the settlement without board of discussion, I don't know. So that's why they was called the censor me. They 4 board member they doing some illegal meeting to illegal settlement down there, and then just to make me to get there to listening them. I don't know what happens there. I'd like to have copy of the signed contract by the Angelica Teache, and I'd like to hold a copy of the expenses under that the job lobbying and we spending on that case, which is Angelica Teache involved on all the action spending. I'd like to copy of those. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Mr. Valenzuela.
I'm sorry. I would like a list of those schools that have these overages, please. And if we may correct this as soon as possible. I believe yesterday was my understanding that we didn't have overages, and now we're hearing from staff and community that there is overages. So if we can please correct this as soon as possible, and if you can email all the board with these corrections, please. I also would like to touch on a little bit on the roles of the academic support teachers. I think this is a great opportunity. We did bring all of them back, and this is a great opportunity for our school district to improve with their support. And I have a couple of questions. First one is, what are their roles and responsibilities at each school site? Are they working directly with teachers? That's my second question, by the way. With teachers modeling lessons and following up their lessons with teachers. I think this is a great opportunity to impact our students directly if these academic support teachers can work with our teachers at every school site. And that's all I have.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Valenzuela. Mrs. Romo?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. I visited for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday board members at Calexico High School and the answer. I have the most recent result for the students, and for 34 students in algebra, biología, 32, English, whatever classes. Maybe 3 or 4 classes is for more than 37, and 40 for gym, for
That's legal.
and ciencia 34, geometría 36. Is the last report. I have the last report, okay? And química? Yes, it's possible in 2-4 classes.
Just continue with your
What?
comment, Mrs. Romo.
Okay.
Continue with your comment.
Thank you. And number 1. Bueno, aquí está el reporte. I would like to thank Mr. Fragale for having Mrs. Ambris provide the board with the 2012 API projections. I had the opportunity to review this information and do some comparisons from the California State Department website. And I am anxious to review this result again in September when they are released. Once these scores are released, I would like Mrs. Ambris to present not only the API, but also the AYP result at a board meeting with a district plan for student achievement. I also recommend that each school principal then inform their community on the result with their goals and plans to involve parents, teachers, and students to improve the student achievement. I would appreciate it if you take my recommendation. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Mrs. Romo. Ms. Aguilar?
My only comment is that I would like to hear or see a follow-up as to the statements that have been made at this meeting by students and faculty stating, those high numbers, particularly in that one where we have a student that is disabled. If we can follow up with that, please. Also, following up on the second portion of the students' comments, which was in terms of the API courses. I mean, API. You got me thinking API. AP courses. What are we doing to remedy that? Because that's not acceptable for an AP course. Finally, I just want to thank and commend Mr. Padilla for a very informative report. I think that you gave us a lot of food for thought. Something that I don't think that was points that weren't taken into consideration when a transition was made or a decision was made to move the program. So thank you for enlightening us.
Thank you, Ms. Aguilar. I also would like to comment on the first week of school with the overages. It's nothing new. Every year, year after year, this school district starts with overages. The school district starts with subs. Year after year, it's the same thing. One of the things that I was discouraged was the way the junior high and high school was handled as to the subs being called. we specifically said, if you're going to put a sub in a classroom, it has to be the credentialed teacher that was laid off, because eventually, if we need to keep that class, that teacher would have been hired for their class. Unfortunately, it didn't happen that way at the beginning. It was corrected. I'm glad for that. And but we need these things to run smoothly. Directive was given by this board, and unfortunately, we are the front people. We are the leaders, and it comes back to haunt us. And we can't correct it because we don't do the work. We don't micromanage. We can't. And everything reflects on us. As to 40, 50 kids in a classroom, I particularly asked that question. I never got that unless it was the classes that were available to have more than 35 kids in a class. Unless we didn't get the correct information, I truly apologize for that. But we work with what is given to us. It's not that we know what's going on out there. We have to depend on our staff. And if that is not corrected, we have days in order to correct them, and a certain amount of days. After that, we need to move quick. If this is still happening, we need to move. We're already on Friday tomorrow. As to some of the comments that were made out there in regards to our budget, if we talk about projections, that's what they are. They're projections. They're not expenditures. We may want to go look at the budget again and see how much was really expended for the year. Those are very big corrections. We can project $1, but we're going to spend $5, or it could be the other way around. I think other than the overages, we knew we were going to have overages. We had to lay off a lot of people, a lot of teachers. I look forward little by little. We are able to hire more. And if the tax initiative passes, that'll be great because we can hire the rest of the teachers. But we need to work together and see, move on. But if we need to correct something, we will have more special meetings because we can't wait for the regular meeting to make decisions. We have to have special meetings, and if it takes every day to have a special meeting, that's what we will call. We will call a special meeting every day. Okay. Thank you. Moving on to item G, discussion informational. Mr. Fergali, the ABE hours, the rationale for the part-time.
The reason we have part-time, we have three staff members for 18 hours at this point. The original categorical fund for ABE monies is no longer a categorical fund. It's now they call it swept. It's swept into the general fund. So whatever monies are spent for ABE now come out of the general fund. And at this point, we originally were going to have one person. We now have three, trying to get as much as we can available for them, but to put them at full-time was not practical fiscally at this time.
Okay. On the swept funds, once we sweep them, we can't transfer any back?
We did. We took some of the money that could have been swept into the general fund and allocated it for ABE. Not all the money was swept into the general fund. That's why we were able to keep some aside and have at least a moderate program.
If the tax initiative passes in November, by January, could we have full-time classes?
Very possibly. In fact, in talking with the teachers for the ABE. That was one of the things that we discussed. That would be a possibility. Can I tell you at this point? I can't tell you for certain, but certainly we would be looking at that. That would be part of the overall picture of bringing as many staff members back as we can, because we have approximately $3.5 million, and that is now set aside by requirement that we would have access to.
I have a question, Madam
Mrs.
President.
Romo?
With 18 hours for 3 teachers, no?
Correct.
Mr. Moreno, how many students enrollment can be in classes today? Yes, please. And how many classes?
Good afternoon. I told them to fill them up to 37, and we don't know who's going to show up on the first day, which is on Tuesday. And we're hoping that the majority of them show up, and then we have to kind of level them off. But we're set 37. Many instances, people enroll and they don't come to classes. I've been doing some research, if I may share this with you. Other school districts who run an adult program, they charge the adults a certain amount of fees to enroll in their programs. I looked at the Temecula adult program, and they were charging, I believe it was $80 for a high school subjects course for the semester, and they were charging a $25 fee for a GED course. I thought that may be something that we may want to entertain and look at if we want to continue the program, or maybe even perhaps expand the program. Mrs. Nogales was correct in saying that literacy is an important part of a community, and I feel that literacy is a big part of the community. Parents can learn English, help their sons or daughters with their homework, or become more employable. But I think as a board, and perhaps even as an administration at the district office, we need to look at various revenue-generating ideas to see if we can keep this program as is, or even better than it is right now. I do have a schedule. If you would like to see the schedule that we're going to be working with, we can put it on the overhead. Would you like to see it?
Yes, please. I'm curious.
Thank you.
By the way, Mr. Moreno, is it $80 for a month or for
Semester?
That was a semester. That's an
semester?
basically it's an 18-week semester. It's usually what it has been in the past. I know the ladies from adult education had kind of discussed that a bit last time, and I'm not sure if we came into an agreement. But that is something that we need to look at.
Okay.
We're staggering the classes so that teachers either work 3 days a week or 4 days a week, depending on the need. We are still going to be at the, I want to call it an annex at De Anza, what is now De Anza Junior High, right on Encinas. Mrs. Lolita Torres, who is the clerk, will be in one of the rooms there now, and we're moving, hopefully, by next Wednesday, we'll start packing the stuff that's here at the district office. We have ESL with Ms. Melendez beginning, and she'll be doing it on Monday morning, 9 to 11. Tuesday morning, 9 to 11, Wednesday morning, 9 to 11, and then no morning classes on Thursday and Friday for her. The GED course, 12 to 3, 12 to 3, 4 days a week. So we've got some openings there in the afternoon for GED. Ms. Campos will be doing ESL intermediate with high school subjects courses. No classes for her on Monday. She will be working Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, staggering the courses in the morning and in the afternoon. Ms. Nogales will be working Tuesday afternoons, and then Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. In the event that there is a holiday on Monday, we'll make adjustments with the Monday classes, or a holiday on Friday, depending on the situation. We don't have a holiday in October, but we do have holidays in January and February and in May that are on Mondays. So we should be making some adjustments to allow the teachers to teach at a different time so they keep their 18 hours. Any questions?
In Calexico subject, I don't understand. Is it for other time?
No, the high school subjects, there are two. We have the high school subjects. We've seen the most need in the afternoon, and Ms. Nogales will be teaching high school subjects 12 to 3.
Wow.
Students would need to get 190 credits with an extra 10 credits for English that the board approved this year. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's effective this year.
And that is doable under these times?
Yes.
The 190 credits are doable on?
It all depends where the student is, because every student is different. They come in with different number of credits, or whether or not they pass the Casey. The majority of them come with 20, 30 credits of English language development, which now will have to just focus on 1 year of that, being English 9, and then they'll take regular English 10, regular English 11, and regular English 12.
Mr. Moreno, I've got a question. What's your enrollment in ABE?
We've had it up to, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know that throughout the years, when I started back in 2010 or 2009, 2010, I know that we had around 600 come and go, because as they come, they may graduate, or they may drop, or they may continue. But I know that we've had quite a number.
What's the average? That's a high, right?
Right. That's when we had it over at the Morales Center. We had 5 teachers. I think we had 5 teachers at that time, and then last year we down to 4, and now we're down to 3. So those numbers vary. We have waiting lists. What we're going to do this year is we're going to look at and we're going to give certain priorities to those students with the most credits in the high school subject areas who have good attendance and are just
when you're giving me those numbers, are you talking about ESL, or are you talking about?
I'm talking about the whole program.
The whole program.
I don't have the exact numbers on the ESL or the GED or the high school subjects, but that's about the.
Can we get those for another day, or can she go and? See
Sure,
you?
I can get that information. Just let me know what you need. Shoot me an email, and I'll try to get that as best I can.
Just what your enrollment is in adult basic ed and.
Well, we won't know until the first day.
Well, actually, what I'm not looking for right now, I'm looking in the past. Give me on the average in the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
What was your enrollment in ESL? What was your enrollment in credit recovery? That's all.
We can get those numbers. And
Okay.
how about GED?
That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kenya, you can, although it's discussion only, you can go.
Kenya Gomez, actually addressed as a teacher, and I taught independent studies and high school subjects. I believe independent studies for maybe 15 years, high school subjects for 3 years. And just a comment regarding the graduation requirements that you have just adopted 10 more credits. Are you taking into consideration the students that were there last year, 2 years ago? In their mind, when they had an evaluation, they were told that they needed 180 credits. How are you going to do this now that you adopted a policy with 10 more credits of English? Are you going to honor the evaluation that was given to them last year, 2 years ago? Are these 10 new credits going to affect only the new students that come in? Have you considered that? I mean, it just came into my mind, and I believe it's something that you need to honor. If a student started high school subjects 3 years ago, the requirements were 180 credits, 30 credits of English. And if you just adopted 10 more credits for English, increasing the requirement to 190, I think it would be a disservice for those students that have not finished but started back a year ago, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. Something for you to consider. So I just wanted to express that concern, because if I had a child in high school subjects, I would be very disappointed if he started 3 years ago and they gave him a new requirement. Thank you.
No. Yeah.
I've got a question for you, Ms. Kenya. A student in that situation, will that affect that student going into, say, community college?
Okay.
Because if they're missing those 10 credits?
No, you have to consider the difference when you graduate from the adult program as opposed to a comprehensive high school. When you go directly to IBC, a community college, as opposed to a four-year university, it would be hard for a student to be accepted to a four-year university coming with an adult diploma. They would first have to finish their first 2 years at a community college. Based on their grades and units and GPA, they can easily transfer to a four-year university. So having the difference in credit doesn't make a difference in being accepted to a community college. Any student, even any person at all without a high school diploma can go to a community college. The difference is your financial aid. If you were to ask a counselor, if we have a counselor here, there's two different forms of financial aid. And one, of course, does require the high school diploma, and the other one doesn't. So it doesn't make a difference if you do have a high school diploma or don't have a high school diploma to go ahead and go to a community college.
Thank you.
And just to let you know, you have a lot of teachers, Ms. Nogales, who's been teaching this for many, many years, who have a lot of information and experience with the adult program, and you should, use their knowledge and experience for these questions. And if you ever need any help, I can help in that also. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gomez. Mr. Fergali, substitute coverage throughout the sites. Next item.
I'm sorry.
The next item, substitute coverage throughout the sites.
All the classes that are covered by the substitutes really are RIF teachers unless they refuse to accept the assignment. We did adjust at the high school and junior high level for the individual program. At the elementary level, of course, they all have the same credential. The only teachers that are not part of the RIF list are those that have refused to. They didn't want a day, or they didn't want a couple days. Apparently their unemployment would be seriously affected. But we go through the RIF list every day first. That's Ed Code as well. The only time we go outside is if we don't have someone willing to accept the assignment.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to item H, superintendent's recommendations, approval of each of the following items.
Madam President, before you move on to one, I just want to ask if we can leave the first part, which is the minutes of the regular board meeting of August 8th, and have those approved at the meeting of the 12th, which is a regular meeting.
Okay, so you want to table item number 1?
Yes, well, I think that regular board meetings minutes should be approved at the regular board meeting, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Correct. So, motion?
Motion to table minutes of the August 8th to the September 13th regular meeting, and approve the minutes of the special board meetings of August 12th and August 16th.
All the minutes supposed approved by the regular meeting, not the special meeting.
Just table
So
them.
might as well just
table
postpone
Okay,
it.
then I'll retract that, and I'll table the whole minutes to September 13th.
Okay,
A second.
I have a motion, second by
Second,
Mr.
yeah.
Kim. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 5-0.
Aye.
Motion passes to table. Item number 2, approve the bid for replacing and completing lighting and HVAC systems for IID LEAP grant projects sites Aurora, Blanche Charles High School 9th grade, Dual, Kennedy, Mains, Rockwood, and Willie Moreno.
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Ms. Aguilar, seconded by Mr. Valenzuela.
I have
Discussion?
discussions.
Mr.
I
Kim?
don't see any what's called the contractors is going to do it. The agenda said bid for the replacing the completing lighting, but who's doing it?
Raul, do you want to speak to that, please?
We approving the budget amount, but we don't know who's going to do that.
Okay, good evening. What we have here, Mr. Kim, to answer your question is, we're asking the board to go out to bid. We don't have a contractor. We're putting a bid together. We're asking for your authorization to go out to bid, to solicit bids, so that we could do this work. And it'll consist of, what this grant consists of, you'll see, let me see, where's the LEAP program consists of two different items. One is the lighting, which all the lighting we're going to be purchasing ourselves and doing it in-house. But then there's a portion where it's for the HVAC systems for the different school sites. That is where we want to go solicit bids, because it's going to be well over $15,000. Now, when you look at the total amounts here, that we have this money reserved, or not the money, but the grants reserved by the IID, and we have till September 11th to move on and let them know what direction we're headed. So in regards to the HVAC systems, what has to happen is, because of the amount of money it's going to be, it's well over $15,000, we have to put a public contract together and go out to bid. That's what we're asking.
So actually, we are approving the budget, not for the contract.
We're requesting that you authorize us to go to bid.
Yes, but
the money, the budget, the 285 is what we received in the grant.
Yes, but the
What's been
agenda
reserved.
itself
We have
said,
to put 24,000, right?
yeah, agenda itself saying the approve the bid for the replacing. So we supposedly approve the budget to get the bid.
No,
No.
no, the
Approve
approving
to
to bid.
to
Maybe
bid.
it should have been to bid
To bid.
Yeah.
instead
Correct.
of the bid.
Mhm. Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that is, should be that we should
bid.
change the motion to approve
To
to
bid.
bid. Yes.
No, approved to go to bid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna make the Mr.
A motion to amend the language to read approved to go to bid for, and so forth.
Okay. I have a motion by Ms. Aguilar, second by Mr. Valenzuela. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
I had some discussion on those. It's just going to jump into the vote.
Okay. You
Okay.
haven't voted, so I have to wait for your vote.
Okay. I believe some of the list they might have some what's called the repair. There's some not functional ACs there.
What occurred was Dr. Spencer, Mr. Duarte, and Mr. Martinez selected the AC that most needed to be replaced.
Yes, but what I'm questioning is that any list on there some ACs not function right now?
Well, we've been repairing all that we could. Those that we were going to replace, if we had a major problem with it, we haven't done that. If we needed a compressor, which might be $600-800, and then within a month or two, we're going to put a whole new AC in there. We've been trying to patch work, and I will tell you that our people have really been working hard. In fact, there's so many out at the same time at this time of the year that we authorized Mr. Duarte to go get some outside help.
If we say something, for example, some of the ACs not function right now, if we can hire any contractor, we should do as soon as possible, because this weather is going to be one day hurting the children. So we spend some money from there to repair first, and rest of them we can give the contract to mothers.
This money cannot be used for any repairs other than what's been set aside.
That's what I'm saying.
But
the
we have
function
been.
is supposed to be repaired. We are supposed to be replace it. That's what I'm trying to
That's
say.
right.
Replace the
But,
units.
we have authorized Mr. Duarte to get outside help for right now. In fact, we've had several, not several, but a few of the AC companies here since the end of July, beginning of August, I believe, helping out.
Yeah. So I'm trying to say, some schools the AC is not function. Right now, we better replace that one first before we try to get all the complete bit, and we can deduct it from that bit from there.
I don't
Well,
think
can
they
we do
will
that?
allow us to do that.
What-
Excuse me. The air conditioners have each has a number, and that number, it's a coded number, and that's already been specified what that air conditioner is.
That's
So
what
we
I'm
could-
saying. On the list of whatever we put the grant on the list of the AC, some ACs is maybe
They-
not function.
I don't think
These
that's
are
right.
all old ACs that have not been repaired in the last 10, 15 years.
But still working then.
Some of them are still working,
Some of them
because
not.
some of them have been patched or repaired.
But some of them not, or everything's patched that they're working now?
We're-
What I'm trying to say is any ACs listed in this grant, if right now it's not function, we can repair that one, we can replace that one first.
Well, a lot of these are functioning, Mr. Kim, but they're costing more in repair than to just go ahead and put in a new unit.
But no work can be done until it's been bid.
That's
because
right.
it's required to be bid.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if I may add this, is when we put this list together, the criteria was the oldest ones, the worst ones that are causing more problems and repeated offenders per se. And the other one is that the units that we're replacing had to qualify for this grant.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. But Mr. Calderon was clarifying we cannot spend any money before the bid. So
Correct.
that means we can't do anything. Thank you.
We're doing our best to keep all of them functioning until we get the replacements.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So I say
Mr. Kim?
yes.
Okay. Motion passes 5-0.
Mr. Pesqueira, your questions?
We can't,
Yeah.
we can't do this one.
Lo que quiera.
Resolution, item number 3, resolution authorizing issuance of assignments outside of major for 1213, assignment outside of credentialed areas under Ed Code Section 44263, high school, Jesus Vargas, 10th grade, estudiantina. Under Section Ed Code Section 44258.3, high school, 9th grade, David Gastelum, 9th grade, computer applications. And under Ed Code Section 44865, Aurora Mark Urick, 9th grade, Independent Studies, Aurora Casey Richard, 9th through 12th grade, Advanced PE, Aurora Antonio Robles Bañuelos, 9th through 12th grade, Advanced PE Mathematics, CHS Daniel Galan, 10th to 12th grade, Opportunity Class, In-School Suspension, and Willie Moreno Jose S. Jimenez, 7th through 8th grade, Opportunity Class, English.
I made the motion to approve it.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. I have a motion by Mr. Kim, seconded by Mr. Valenzuela.
Can we have some discussion?
Discussion, yes. Mr. Kim?
Is that the way did everything just like advertisement to get the position, or they already teaching from several years?
These are already have been teaching, but annually we have to the board has to reapprove them.
I see. Thank you.
Okay, any other
And
questions?
yes, I do.
These are
And these are all credentialed teachers, right?
Absolutely. The problem is, for example, there's no, and taken for Mr. Urick, there are no independent study credentials, and there's no credential for opportunity class. So that's why we get their approval, and then we need board approval.
Thank you.
Any other questions, board members? Roll call vote. Ms. Aguilar?
Aye.
Mr. Kim?
Aye.
Mrs. Romo?
Yes.
Mr. Valenzuela?
Yes.
Ms. Duarte? Yes. Motion passes 5-0. Moving on to closed session, Mr. Calderon? Oh, hold
Excuse me,
on, we
Evan.
have one speaker. Mr. Cooper? I'm sorry, Mr. Calderon.
There's a notice that's supposed to be posted in each classroom. And I know it's posted in my classroom, but I haven't seen them all. And it cites Education Code 35186. And it seems to me that when Mr. Fergali answered the question earlier about substitutes, he was talking about credentialed teachers, but it requires a teaching credential to be a substitute. If not, you have to get something called an emergency credential. So it's technically the law that your substitute teachers have credentials. So I would be more interested in how many substitutes, how many vacancies we have, because I believe the school board could be violating the administration. I'm not trying to directly attack you guys, but I know, as Ms. Duarte said, you guys are the leaders. Part 3 of this state-mandated warning for Williams schools, which I believe are all of ours, there should be no teacher vacancies or misassignments. There should be a teacher assigned to each class and not a series of substitutes or other temporary teachers. I believe what you have are temporary teachers assigned or substitutes. The teacher should have the proper credential to teach the class, including the certification required to teach English learners, if present. Teacher vacancy means a position to which a single designated certificate employee has not been assigned at the beginning of the year for an entire year, or if the position is a one-semester course. A position to which a single designated certificated employee has not been assigned at the beginning of a semester for an entire semester. Then it goes on to talk about other things. But I believe you guys have a duty to follow the education code, and most of the time you guys do it. But I believe that you're not doing it right now by having all these vacancies. As Ms. Duarte said, we've got so many issues. We're scheduling these board meetings on a rapid basis. I didn't make a big deal about this until tonight, because I do know the district is trying to be conservative on staffing. But you've got over a dozen vacancies to be, and we never heard that word. All we heard was that we have people with credentials. Those are still vacancies. So please do what you need to do. When Williams complaints are filed, doesn't help any of us, except maybe lawyers and consultants, because they get rich or more money than I make to respond to things like that. So let's try to solve this with the existing staff, and I know we can do this together. Any reports given to you guys, I'd like to get a copy. Most of them are public information. I'm teaching history most of the day. I don't have it, but I do have access to teachers that tell me there's 48 kids in my room. And I believe them. I don't believe they'd lie to me about that. So please fact check. You can let me know, but like you, I have a day job. So I will communicate with you guys. And
Excuse me, 40,
yes.
40 students in your
No, not in my class.
And the other, okay.
Not in my class. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Madam President, it's 7:31 p.m., and you have on your closed session agenda 3 items. So the board will now recess to closed session for public employee appointments, positions included in the certificated and classified employment reports. That's under Government Code Section 54957. You also have public employee discipline dismissal release under Government Code Section 54957. And the final item is the third item, which is under anticipated litigation, which is the consideration of a tort claim filed by Angelica Telechea.
Thank you, Mr. Calderon. We will be back shortly. Thank you.
Ms. Duarte, when do we gonna have an agenda meeting? When do we gonna finish the meeting today?
When?
Uh-huh.
When we're done?
Well, we don't have a list of agenda meeting. Look at the agenda. We don't have anything on the agenda meeting. We don't have until K. We approve the K2, and that's it. We keep doing the meeting. I don't know how made the agenda like this. We suppose agenda meeting. We don't have any agenda in the agenda meeting. So we're gonna keep doing the meeting. We're going to close session. After close session, we came out.
What Mr. Kim is saying that
K, we approve it, recommend to the open session. K1, 2, we approve the employment report. And then we supposed to have agenda meeting. We don't have it here.
No, Madam President, I believe what he's saying is that there's not an adjournment item on the agenda.
Yeah.
But as a matter of a course of a meeting, obviously the board can adjourn the meeting.
Yes, but we still have to put it in the agenda.
Other page. Other page.
Well, you can't adjourn the meeting.
Session, Mr. Calderon.
The board is reconvening from closed session at 9:50. There were two actions taken in closed session. The first action was a motion by Mr. Kim to assign Ms. Sasueta as to the high school as principal on assignment, to assign Mr. Diego Romero as principal at Kennedy Gardens, and to assign Jaime Santos as assistant principal at CHS is the high school, right? The high school. And assign Gabi Flores as vice principal and administrative intern at Kiki Camarena. The motion was seconded by Ms. Romo, and it failed on a vote 2-3. The second motion was a motion by President Duarte to assign Ms. Sasueta to the high school as principal on assignment, to assign Ms. Ramirez as principal at Kennedy Gardens, to assign Isaac Estrada to the director of academic services, to assign Jaime Santos as assistant principal at the high school, to assign Marco Miramon as vice principal administrative intern at the high school, and to assign Gabi Flores as vice principal administrative intern to Quique Camarena. That motion was seconded by Trustee Valenzuela, and it passed on a vote of 3-2, with Trustees Kim and Romo voting against. The next motion that was made was by Trustee Aguilar, seconded by Trustee Valenzuela, to reject the tort claim filed by Angelica Telechea with direction to staff and counsel, general counsel, to seek a settlement agreement. The direction was by majority vote, and that vote was 4-1. The vote to reject and the direction to council and administration was 4-1, with Trustee Kim voting against. There were no other reportable actions taken in closed session.
I need to put in report and the minute, followed by no, followed by the I don't agree with the direction given to the administrations.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Thank you, Mr. Calderon. Moving on to item K1. Approved certificated employment report for August 30th, 2012. Oh, that's right. We have a speaker, Ms. Harvey.
I have a motion to extend the meeting for 15 minutes more.
Okay, I have a motion to extend the meeting
Second.
by Mrs. Romo, seconded by Mr. Valenzuela. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0.
Oh, okay. Diana Harvey. I have actually some nice things to say. Would you believe that? And my nice things to say is I've never seen our district work so hard to commit to hiring from within, to promote people from within. I mean, it's in all the years that I've been at this district, which are many, many, it's always been to shun our own employees that have worked so hard in this district and have given their time and promoted themselves in education, than to get the opportunity then to be part of this district's administration. I've never seen that, and I want to compliment this board on that. Now, we do have our problems in the other areas of the substitutes and the class size and all, but that is one thing. I'm sorry, I'm not. You're not interested, Ruth, but it is.
No.
It is wonderful that you're able to do that, and you have made that commitment from this board. That's what I see, and I'll come back another time and talk about substitutes and overages. But right now, I don't know about what you're going to do as far as this employment report, but to promote within, that's a great. Well, it's a motivator for the employees that work here to know that they are found to be worthy. And I have to give Mr. Fergali some credit for that, too, because I think he's working on that. Aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Okay. Item K.
K1.
We didn't make a motion, right?
I make the motion to table the Mr. Padilla Lucio. I want to make the table, accept the rest of them.
Okay. Have a motion made by Mr. Kim, seconded by Mr. Valenzuela.
Members of the board, there was the other item of Carlos Vera that was also discussed to be tabled for lack of some information.
Okay. I'm amending my motion to table to the Padilla Lucio and Carlos Vera.
I second
Vera,
that.
Carlos
Vera.
to table it.
I second that.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 No.
Aye. Motion passes 4-1. Item number 2, approve Personnel Commission classified employment report for August 30th, 2012.
I'm making motion to number 1, Huerta Porfirio, to not to approve it. The request of Lucen not to approve it. And number 5, Huerta Porfirio, the Rocksmith subs, approving effective date at October 21st. August 24th till August 31st. And that's it. Yeah. We changed the. We're mentioning number 8. Change the 500 stipend instead of 1111 for the hour raise. And rest of them we approve it.
A second.
Okay, I have a first motion made by Mr. Kim, seconded by Ms. Aguilar. Discussion?
No discussion.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Okay. And there was a comment made by Mr. Kim as to if this meeting was going to adjourn. It was on the next page, but we're conserving paper, so it didn't show up. And with that, I call this meeting over, adjourned at 10 o'clock. Thank you.
10 o'clock.